Hi, welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada.
How you doing, Muffin?
I'm fine. How are you?
It came out rushed and like you weren't fine.
Oh,
It almost came out like a mom. I'm fine. Just fucking go to school.
whatever the concern is, it doesn't concern you. So
Yeah.
leave me the fuck alone. I went to yoga and then I moved my foot along the mat to slide down onto the mat, and it sounded like I farted. And then I think someone made a face, and then the teacher was like started laughing. She was like, don't make me laugh. But he could have been doing something else. But I was like, was that about me? And I didn't fart. But if people think I farted, you can't just be like, I didn't actually fart. Like, you can't stop class.
It was the mat. Like the more you try to defend yourself, the more incriminating.
Yeah. Sorry, I accidentally muted you. But yeah, like the more, but you can't, you're not supposed to talk in yoga. It's supposed to be like the sacred space. But like the thing is like, even as I tell the story, I'm sure there are people out there going, yeah, you did. I didn't. I really didn't. But now I have to like live with that. And then like as I was leaving, I always say bye, because the staff always says bye and the teacher says bye. And she didn't say bye. And I don't think she hated me because I farted, because I didn't fart. But it definitely went through my head. I'm like, does she just think I'm some sort of gassy outcast? I don't know.
Let's just say this. If you did, it didn't smell like anything because you didn't fart. So really, They should be asking you dietarily what you're doing to have such loud yet scentless farts.
Yeah, that's so true. It's just like, what do you eat? I'm like, quinoa.
Just quinoa. So, they're loud. Yeah, that's the problem. But they're almost like Febreze. Like, smells nice. I'm sorry. I did CrossFit yesterday, and it was like just like an hour of pull-ups. I was like, could we not? Like, I woke up this morning and I was like, okay. Because that's the thing, is like, you take so many breaks because I can only do so many pull-ups, and like it started out like kipping pull-ups, and then it was like one band, and then it was two. Like eventually, I'm just like, it's a bunch of rubber bands just flinging me up in the air because I get so tired. So the more we do it, the less I'm actually doing. But I wasn't like sweating that much, and I was like, oh, I was tired clearly. But this morning I was like sneaky because I genuinely went to like go brush my teeth, and I was like, I can't.
It's weird how working out your muscles renders them useless for like a week.
Yeah, a little bit. Also, what's interesting, so I used to take these noon classes before the pandemic, and they have not brought them back, and they're probably never going to bring them back, and it's made it going to the gym more difficult. So I take these evening classes. I try to take the earliest evening class either when I have a late spot or don't have spots at all. And it's so funny, when I used to take this noon class, I loved it, worked with my schedule, but I would be dead probably by 4, like legit, like all of a sudden all the soreness would start to set in, and I would be like, I'm tired and everything hurts. So it is a little funny that technically 5 is best, because even if I have shows, it's not until like right before I'm going to bed that I'm like, oh, that thing wrecked me.
Oh, like, that's so interesting, because I get so tired and useless after that. I'm like, I can't continue on like this, because I really just don't have a personality after I work out. Like, and I'm almost angry, and I just want to go to bed. And then somebody was like, why don't you work out right before you go to bed? And I was like, well, that'd be nice, but I often have to be out for comedy, and it's too late after comedy. I think before comedy, you can be doing anything up until you're on stage. Like, you have no problem. You could be giving somebody surgery and have to be on stage in 5 minutes, and you would be able to like focus on the surgery and then get on stage and focus on that. If I have a show, that's my mental space for the whole day. So
no, it's true. I've been like literally like emotionally coaching somebody, and then they're announcing my name. I'm like, we'll continue this. Remember, I was yelling at you. That's also the best too, when people, on that note, when people are just like, hey, you need to focus. And I'm just like, do I? Oh, I guess you think I need to focus. Like people will be like, hey, I'll leave you alone. You need to focus. And I was like, Sure. There are
No,
times
but
that
I
I'm like,
do.
oh,
That's so funny. I do need, I'm like, thank you. You know,
if I'm working on new stuff or I haven't headlined in an hour, I definitely need to focus. But like if I've headlined 3 days every weekend, like 3 days every weekend in a row, it's in there. And if I'm just adding one or two jokes, I probably have been
yeah,
doing them during the
I
week.
know what you
It's
mean.
just about how much space I've had in between. But no, I that is something that I've actually always been a little insecure about, that like everybody else is like focused and I'm just like, why does nobody want to talk about their day?
You're the nightmare comedian to me. I'm just like, why are you talking about your day? Shut the fuck up. I'm
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
pretty
concentrate.
much. Pretty much. I at least get the hint where like everybody's looking at their set list. And I was like, I also am looking at my set list, but really I'm just playing a game on my phone.
But that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, because they're doing new stuff, I feel insecure if everybody's looking at their set list and I'm like, oh, I have it already. So maybe I should be pushing myself a little more. Everybody here is.
I actually prepared. It kind of depends, because I used to get insecure seeing people write before they go on stage. And I'm like, should I be doing that? And sometimes I do, but I'm like, oh, I did that on the train. I did that earlier in the day. It's just like,
Yeah.
you start to use the unpreparedness, that's what we're going with, of other comics as a reflection of like your lack of craftiness or dedication. And you're like, no, I'm just on my shit, man. I worked on this
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I recall being in DC with you and you were like, I need to shut you out for an hour. I'm like, got you.
Yeah. Oh, well, because what was it? That was in July. I think the last time I had headlines was like a month before. And I was like, hey, panic mode. I just realized I have to do stand up. Also, you were in town, so I was like,
you hit something in the garage and your hand just like goes out, like it's not talk to the hand, but it was literally like, not right now.
yeah. But that is protection of somebody I love, because it was like, I'm not who I want to be right now. And I don't want to treat you the way my ability to be who I want to be is fading.
Yeah.
It's like when you notice that when I'm like angry and or hungry, I get really quiet. And that is a learned, not even defense mechanism. That's like a learned try not to lose my friends mechanism, where it's just like, because I am feeling either rage or extreme like bitching, or like the fact that I left you a message the other day, like I was helping with something. And then I had to be like, hey, I can't control my tone right now. Like, it just can't. Like, I don't know what's happening, but it's just coming off very curt and like you're annoying me. And it's not, it's just my tone right now.
I'm
But
generally pretty good about being like, I know. I can hear it. I can read it. It's fine.
Yeah, but I'm easily affected by someone's tone. So like, and like, it's hard for me not to like get in my head where I'm like,
I was super offended the teacher didn't say bye. Like I am uber sensitive. I will think about that forever. I'm like, do I want to continue going to this yoga studio? Like,
think about it. It's being reflected live and taped.
Bye. Bye. Nothing. And so anyway, but with you, I know you well enough. And I'm like, you didn't just suddenly hate me. So,
oh yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know what that is either. Like, it's like, okay, it's funny. I'm reading this book called Fix Your Period, because I'm fun. I'm just super fun. And what's interesting about this book that I didn't realize is that, so you know how like athletes sometimes lose their period from like working out too much, like being like too fit and awesome. Or if you go through like an extreme amount of stress, you can lose your period for a couple of months, or for not forever. But so basically what it was saying is that for women specifically, their survival, having a baby in this moment of fight or flight isn't necessary. So what your body does is, it's almost like your iPhone, when you go into battery save mode and it like stops like pulling in your emails, and it just does bare minimum. It's like, here's your clock, here, you know what I mean? Like, here's your stuff. Your body goes into battery save mode and it shuts down a couple of things because you need to like run for your life. And so it used to be in the past, we were running from a tiger. So it was like, hey, you don't need to really ovulate right now. Like, we don't need to do that.
We don't want to like,
that's not important. You might be dead.
And blood.
So let's not think about, say it again.
Yeah. We don't want to shed blood for him to sniff. Like, we just
exactly.
save your life at the moment.
So now we're not being chased by tigers, but like you might be super stressed at work, or you might be like overworking out where it feels maybe like your body's like, are we running from a tiger every day at noon? Like, this is crazy. So what's interesting to me is that in some sense, when I'm stressed, I clearly don't shut down my body, but like my niceties go away. Like that's the first, like, and I can tell that's something I learned, and it's a learned skill. And it's like, as soon as I'm stressed, like I'm still a nice person, but the like, how are yous and you look nice. And I'm just like business mode, like fucking. So I kind of compare it to that. So as soon as I get stressed, I'm just like, battery save. I don't smile anymore.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just pictured you. You never waited tables, did you?
A little bit. I did for like 6 months.
Are you any good at it?
No.
Yeah, I can't imagine if you get stressed and your niceties are the first thing to go. Like I can't wait tables when I'm stressed. I'm like, people notice. They're like, what is wrong with you? But like you just be like, what do you want? Why am I standing here? I have shit to do. When I come back, yell your stuff at me, or I'm leaving again.
Did you wave me over for ketchup? Which I do all the time, but I at least apologize. I'm like, you really waved me over for ketchup? Like, it's right on that table. Like, just make a friend. Like, what are we doing here?
We're gonna have an assembly line of ketchup, starting with this table. Pass it down.
It wasn't bitchiness that was my problem. It actually really was anxiety. And I remember this so clearly, of like that day where it's like nonstop and you can't even think straight, and then you're home. And I remember getting home, laying on the couch, trying to like relax. It's how I got back into smoking pot, because I just could not let go of the day. Because I would get on my couch and I'd be like, did I ever get that woman her salad? Like I would just, I couldn't let it go, and I'm done. Like you can't fix it.
Yeah.
So I started smoking pot again. I was probably 20, and I couldn't let the day go, because I was just like, ugh.
I know it 100% stays with you. And then you dream about it and you have anxiety dreams. And I mean, that's why there's a lot of alcoholics in the restaurant industry. Cause like we would just get off work and then we would go to like another pub or a bar. And a lot of bars like that are open late would have like industry nights, for the people getting off work. And then they would like give discounts and stuff. But then you get all hungover, then you'd have to go to work and then you drink it off. And it just was a cycle. But I mean, we got to move on. But I just want to know, what kind of restaurant did you work out for 6 months? Was it a corporate restaurant or was it?
No, it was a tiny Italian restaurant that was 2 blocks from my apartment. And that was my favorite part, was like, I would roll out of bed, wear all black, fucking give people some pasta. I ate so much pasta. I gained so much weight working at that restaurant because all my meals were pasta. It was so good. And then the bartender was annoying and hit on me. And that was like the worst part of my day, was just being like, it's never going to happen. And I'm at work. Like,
way back when that was not a problem.
Oh yeah, and I would literally be like eating a giant bowl of pasta, and he'd be like, "So what are you doing later?" And I'm like, "Dude, I have like sauce on my face, and I'm angry. Like, why do you want that?" Like, I just didn't understand this dude. I was like, I don't even like you, and I think you could do better. But yeah, it was very tiny, and the owners and that bartender sucked. And when it shut down, I was really grateful. And it's been a revolving pizzeria since then.
Okay. Yeah. Should we do announcements?
We should. Great idea. Thank you to all our Patreons, everybody that helps us out, everybody that contributes. We are very grateful. There's some people that have been giving to us from the beginning, which is like, come on, we're almost at our 2-year anniversary. We're on season 3. This is amazing. So if you don't know, you can get weekly bonuses, you can get monthly bonuses, you can get stickers, you can get access to our stand-up, you can become a Google guest, you can control our Googles. There's tons of free benefits, and it's all at patreon.com/2nondoctors, the number 2 full word doctors.
Yes. And if you have time and you're feeling nice, leave us a rate and review on Apple Podcasts, because it helps us. We love it. We love to share reviews on our socials, the nice ones. And I don't think we get a lot of bad ones. So thank you for that.
We don't piss people off enough to be motivated, which is, I think it's good. I think.
Even when we did piss people off, they were like, I nearly left you a 1-star review, but I'm like, but they didn't. And that was nice.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. You can follow us on the socials. Did I already say this? No.
I don't remember.
Twitter, Facebook, YouTube at @2nondoctors, the number 2 full word doctors, and on Instagram at @2nondrs. Personal announcements, fingers crossed, my album will be out March 15th, and I think the pre-sale is March 8th. But had some technical issues that took me a few days to resolve. I resolved it. I did. Maybe.
I was really proud of you.
It's not fully resolved, but it's on the way to resolved. Anyway.
An album will come out eventually, and it's going to be great. And that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focusing on the stuff we can control.
Yeah, Liz got a lot of phone calls.
I'll fucking kill the internet. And I was like, and welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Maria's album will be out. I've already listened to it. It's awesome. So as soon as pre-sales come out, please, that's the best way to support Maria, is pre-sale buy her album. Any other touring personal announcements, my dear?
Nope. I mean, it's on my website.
That's true. For us, our show is nearly sold out. So in London, Maria's opening for me March 13th, and we have low ticket sales. So if you're thinking about coming, get those tickets.
Wait, we have low ticket sales, or it's nearly sold out? Low ticket sales implies there's only a few tickets sold.
It's nearly sold out.
Okay. Oh, great. So you have a few seats left.
Yeah. Few seats left is probably, yeah. Thank you.
It was just, yep. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Yeah, get your tickets now, because it's nearly sold out. By the time this comes out, I think, also, I think you can see both of us in Prague. This comes out like a couple days before we're in Prague. So you can see us in Prague. I will be in Berlin.
Wait to know the information about Prague. Nothing.
The person was supposed to reach out to you.
Oh, no one did.
Okay, I'll give you her email. This is not the time. Okay.
I'm like, oh, am I going to Prague? Yeah, I mean, I know it's going, but am I performing? Because I have no info on it, but yeah.
Not the time.
Not
the time. We will be in Prague, and then I will be in Berlin. You'll see us both in London. And then I just added a bunch of US cities that I'm excited about. I will be in Cleveland at the end of March, in early April. I will be in Lexington, Kentucky in April. I'll be in Sunnyvale, California, this is my 3rd time rebooking it, but I will be there in May. And then I just got booked for San Francisco Punchline. I'm so fucking excited.
I love that one. Have you ever done that before? Because like that's always been a dream of mine.
Same. So I just did like a showcase 13 years ago, like you know what I mean? Like just like a 10-minute whatever. I've never like done a feature there, let alone headline there. And I'm doing a full weekend, and I'm so excited.
What weekend is it?
These are great questions. I want to say August 24th to the 27th, something like that. Yeah, August 24th to the 27th. San Francisco Punchline. I am so jazzed, guys. And yeah, and then April 3rd, I am taping my new hour in New York City. The first show, the 7:00 show, is like almost sold out. So if you're thinking about that one, and then there's tickets available for the 9:30, use the promo code GHOST. Are we ready for fan mail?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Very enthusiastic announcement. Sorry. Okay.
So we have an email from Jean Marie. They say, hey, they say, hey there, everyone's favorite non-doctors. Thank you. I finished listening to your latest episode on social anxiety, and I just had to tell you how good it felt listening to this. I almost cried from relief. It is so relatable how you describe the feelings of being at parties or the pre-social events, dread and all. It's heartwarming to feel understood and not alone. A very spot on bit about an hour was when Liz said how she felt taking medication. Is this how my brain is supposed to be like? Because if everybody's like this is unfair. I remember a few years ago, within a long period of shitty depression. There was a couple of days streak. There was a couple of days streak where I felt really well. And I thought, if everybody's like this, no wonder they can do lots of stuff and achieve things. Well, anyway, I don't have tips and tricks how I deal with my own social anxiety. It kind of declined with time, or maybe I'm just getting better at ignoring it. I did feel very proud the first time I could do a phone call and something else during the same day, not having to prepare for hours before or recover for hours afterwards. I love what you do. Stay safe. Best wishes.
Thank you, Jean Marie. I do like the idea that like I have moments where I still like get one thing done a day. Like it really just depends on my headspace. But there are actual studies that say with certain mental illnesses, certain mental stuff, that it actually does get better with age. Like we talked about, I don't know if anxiety is one of them, but clearly for Jean Marie, it's gotten easier, she thinks. But specifically with like bipolar and stuff, they actually believe it kind of lessens. But most of it was like in your 70s, and you're like, that's a long time to wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care what other people think now that I'm about to die.
Yeah. Which is also like, I just think it'd be funny to like have anxiety your entire life, and then one day when you're 70, you're like, I don't think I care anymore. And you're like, yeah, I can see why. Like,
yeah.
Or you don't have social anxiety because like all your friends moved away. I think the best part about all the episodes that we've talked about different forms of anxiety is the fact that I think everybody with anxiety somehow feels like they're alone, or they're the only ones struggling with it. And I think even just the acknowledgement that other people struggle to get stuff done, other people struggle to go out, other people, it just is like, all right, it sucks that I'm not able to fix this at the capacity that I would like, but at least it's not just me putting on my shoes, about to leave, and then taking my shoes off and sitting back down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for writing in, Jean Marie. We're glad you connected with that episode.
Thank you.
Googles?
Yeah.
Can I go first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't be mad at me. Don't like make fun of me. It's like, I've kind of already Googled it, but I haven't. And I did learn extra. And then also I kind of learned nothing.
What?
Yeah, great. Okay. I'll explain. My Google is, does natural flavors in seltzer cause cavities? Now we have done
Why would I be mad at you about that? Oh, because we've done this.
Does seltzer fuck your teeth up? Like we've done that.
Yeah.
And not really. Like they really don't think it's the carbonation that's doing anything. Okay, so the first thing, so the reason I asked this is I have a bunch of flavored seltzer, and I would like do my whole skincare regimen at night, put in take out my contacts, brush my teeth, and then I would have this flavored seltzer. And then I'm like, do I have to brush my teeth again? Like there's no calories, there's nothing, like do I have to brush my teeth again? So I didn't, like 2 nights in a row. And then I was like, you might have secret cavities. Let's research this before we start whatever. So couple of things. When it comes to non-organic foods like seltzer, natural flavoring, because this thing is literally carbonation and natural flavoring. When it comes to natural flavoring, it can include artificial flavoring. It's just one of these weird fucking loopholes. Like when something says it has no sugar, and then if it's less than like 1% of sugar, they don't have to list that there's sugar, but there is sugar. Like there's all these like weird fucking loop, and you're just like, why is that okay? Like you should have to say and why can you just do natural flavoring? You don't say what the fuck's in it, whatever. So that's the first caveat. The next thing is flavoring additives in many sparkling waters cause them to be acidic and must thus be viewed as potentially erosive. So just the natural flavoring itself makes it acidic. And then last kind of tidbit is carbonation in plain water does not affect tooth decay, but added flavoring like citric acid or sugar, this doesn't have sugar, but probably has citric acid, certainly can lead to to lead to cavities with continuous use. So I think the answer is that most likely there's citric acid in this natural flavoring, and citric acid can cause tooth decay. So I should brush my teeth is the answer.
Oh my God, you did all that research to possibly avoid brushing your teeth.
Yes, that is the definition of me.
Jesus Christ. But like, yeah, you have a real, because I think you're like, I enjoy this, therefore there must be something wrong with it. And I've noticed my teeth. Yeah. I've noticed.
Well, it's also, so as I'm trying to eat healthier and not like snack late at night, like I've always kind of used seltzer as like bubble friends, like watching a movie, drinking bubbles. Like, so what really happens is I do stand up, I like brush my teeth before I do stand up, go do a bunch of stand up. I'm done. I decide I'm done eating for the night, but I just want like a flavored seltzer. I don't want to brush my teeth again, especially because what I do, which we've talked about in earlier episodes, is I need to be exhausted to fall asleep. Like I need to be like falling asleep. And if I'm falling asleep on the couch and I'm just going to get up and plop into bed, it's wakening to like brush my teeth. So what I really do is then I have to decide when I'm done drinking flavored water, brush my teeth, go back to the couch. Like it's just,
This
I'm just
is the
really
same
lazy.
schedule I'm on because of this Invisalign. Like I have to think about everything.
Yes.
Am I done with this for the evening? Because then I'll brush my
Yes.
teeth and put in my Invisalign and that's it. And then lately peeing, like I never had a problem with peeing in the middle of the night, but suddenly it just, for some reason, I'm always up in the middle of the night peeing. So it's like, I have to like,
I hope we're on the same schedule.
I know that's going to be fun.
Maria, I have to pee too.
Yeah. So I don't know. So yeah, it's like a lot of thought, Liz.
Yeah, no, I put so much thought because I'm lazy, which is not a good attribute. Like you just.
But I know what it's like to not want to get up. Like once you're tired and you want to fall asleep, like having to get up is the worst. I've fought having to pee. I'm like, I'm not getting up to pee, body. So figure it out. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And then I lose every time.
Yeah. And I start tossing and turning and I can't get back to sleep. And I know if I just pee that I'll actually fall back to sleep. So I don't even fight it that much anymore. Although there'll be sometimes I'm so deep into a dream that I'm just like, man, I'm like really upset about that. And it's really just my body being like, you have to pee. Also, wake up. I've been trying to give you messages for hours. Also, what I learned, because I went to the urologist, I have a small bladder. Don't want to brag, but I have a significantly smaller bladder. Not significantly, it's just not the average size bladder.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't even know what, because we always joke that my mom has this like tank of a bladder. Like my mom, we could be on like an 8-hour road trip and my mom never pees. And it's just like, it just made me upset. And then I'm not joking. I will pee before I leave, be on the subway for 20 minutes, and it will be almost an emergency and have to pee again. I didn't drink anything in that time. I didn't do anything.
It makes me want to Google whether or not, like, I mean, like, can you really have like such a small bladder? Because I mean, I guess kids pee more than adults. They always have to pee. Is it because their bladders are so small?
Yeah, but theirs grow. Did my bladder stop growing?
Your little.
I am the size bladder of a middle schooler. Do I have a middle school size bladder?
You're just drinking kids' juices like in the box. Like, I have a small bladder.
My bladder is only as big as this juice box.
That's it. I was like, what is that called?
What'd you Google?
Can a bed be placed in the middle of a room? Okay. So I've always wanted to put my bed like behind me here, so that it was facing the window, so that I could see out the window. I have this big, huge window with a beautiful view, and I can't see it because my bed's off to one side or the other. And I want to see out the window. So I was watching Mrs. Maisel, and she had arranged some furniture, and she put the bed in the middle of the room for it to be different. And like the whole joke was that like she kept knocking into shit, which is annoying. But I was like, I mean, they're making fun of it, but do people do this? Yes. And I think
quick question for clarification. when you say the middle, you mean the headboard is not touching a wall.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I remember like 70s where they have those circle beds and they're like in the middle, but they're like for sexcapades or something. I don't know.
The 70s ruined a lot of good ideas. But like, no. So yeah, the headboard wouldn't be
Touching
there'd
any
be no
walls.
wall behind it. So
Okay.
you'd kind of have to have a headboard because if you read in bed and stuff, you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's done. I think it's called a floating bed, but a floating bed is also called like a bed that looks like it's floating. So it's kind of hard to Google. Feng shui wise, I don't know. I didn't find a position on this, but they did say the worst position was called dead man's position, where the bed is in line with the door, which I feel like when I looked up feng shui when we did the episode on it, I thought that was the best position, but they call it dead man's position because that's like how you're carried out in a coffin out of the house, like through the door. I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, so also a lot of reasons why sometimes it's not done is because your headboard, like the back of it looks not pretty, but you'd have to kind of either get like a special headboard that had like a bookshelf on the back of it, or maybe put a bookshelf behind it. But it's a good way to separate the room because like you might have like a workspace on one side and blah, blah, blah. My room's too small to have any sort of fucking like workspace, but I think I want to do this now. This is where you come in.
Mm-hmm.
I might ask you to help me move stuff around.
Yeah, let's do it.
Really? Oh my God, I'm so happy that you're excited about that. Okay.
So not my last apartment. Did I move my bed a bunch? I did. I moved my furniture once. Like, I moved in, it was like this. And then I think, right when the pandemic happened, I was like, moving my stuff if I'm going to be here. So in the 6 years I lived at my last place, I moved my stuff once. But at my old place, I think I was there for 4 years. And like every year I would like, the bed goes on this side. The bed's not going to be on this side. Like I would just move my desk and my bed to different parts of the room. And it always made me feel like I moved. And it was just very exciting. So there is some, because you've been in your place for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah. I've probably switched it like 3 times already.
Yeah, and even just like painting the walls, as I can see, like that kind of stuff is very like to me very like I walk in, I'm like, yeah, like I'm just like it's my place. So I think in general that's just like a mood enhancer, and it just gets you really excited. Although my desk is so fucking heavy that when I moved it on my own during the pandemic, I remember my roommate, John, knocking on the door and I was in the middle of pushing it. He's like, do you want help? And I was like, no, the struggle makes me feel alive. Like I was like, could not, like I literally was it was a mess. I'm not against a floating bed, but I think you're right. Like, I guess I can't envision, especially because I don't remember your room. Like I can't envision how much space or where it is. But I think once you figure out the right place to put it, I always, the people that would put the bed and it wasn't against the wall, like if it was a corner and so it's a corner but they put it straight, you know what I mean? So it never fits into the corner. It's like
like a diagonal on the corner.
Yes. And I was like, brave.
Like, I mean, that cuts off a lot of the room, because there's that whole space behind it that you don't. But the thing about this is the space behind this is going to be space. So I don't know. I figure we can try it, and you're coming back. Huh?
Yeah.
We'll move.
If not, we move it back.
Thank you. I have a mirror I need hung up too.
Okay. Come over with tools. I'm like, I just flew here to just here. Brought a hammer. It was not regulation. They tried to take it away from me, but I was like, no, my muffin needs a fucking mirror up.
Like, oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, of course.
Oh, so, yeah, there's an American that has no ability to do anything, and I have to help her. All right. Good Google.
Yeah.
All right, let's get personal.
Yeah.
What is the most thoughtful gift you've ever received?
I know it's from Johnny, but I'm trying to think. Or it might have been from you, sorry. I mean, recently, when I got COVID, it was Valentine's Day, and he just left me a text that said, check outside. And I opened the door and he had like gotten me this little care package and he made me a card. And oh, like all of his gifts are so fucking thoughtful. Yeah. Hold on. That was so nice. But for our 3rd anniversary, he made me a tape, like a mixtape, like an actual mixtape. And then he bought me a cassette player and for the mixtape. And so, and he like created the set list, and on it, like there were songs on it, but there were also like sound bites from stuff, like inside jokes from our relationship. So I used to make fun of the way the Victoria Line train said Waltham so central. And I would always be like, Waltham so central. And he's like, it doesn't sound like that. But we would laugh about it, whatever, like stupid little things like that. So he like went and got a recording of that and put it on the tape. And he had to ask
this is such 90s love.
I know. I loved it so much. I was like, I had bought him jeans. I was like,
no, I love that. No, that actually reminded me of like, because after you break up with somebody, you try not to think about how thoughtful they were. Yeah. But my first real boyfriend.
I'm sorry, that's like the first thing. I was like, oh my God, this is so nice. Then the second thought was, if we break up, this is going to kill me.
I can't burn this, but I will hide this from myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I still have this because I don't really throw anything out. I just put it in my filing cabinet and then I never look at it again, like you're supposed to. I don't do a shoebox. I do a filing cabinet.
Dad puts cards for me in the filing cabinet. You're my father.
I am. I have cards from my friends, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking be sad and read these someday.
I toss mine immediately.
It always makes me think of that Kevin James joke where he's just like, oh, and he starts putting in the trash, and they're like, what do you do? He's like, I'm hanging it up. So my first boyfriend, I think it was either our first anniversary or my first birthday when we were dating. I don't know what it was, but he made almost kind of something similar. It was a CD. He like recorded himself being like telling me that like he loved me and everything that he thought was special about me. Just like it was like it was like a self tape of a card. And then he burned it and then he gave it to me. So I'm like by myself, like he gives me his card. I'm like by myself. And I was like, shut up. And he did that. I think he did that 3 years in a row, which I always thought was really like sweet and personal. Recently, not boy related, for my birthday, I think 2 years ago. So, I do my little catter day and I post pictures of cats. My friend Amanda took all the pictures or a bunch of pictures from Instagram and made a card of all my pictures. And then on the back, it's like International Cats by Liz Mealy, like copyright, like, and it's like cards I can give to people.
Wait a minute. I have one of those cards hanging up. I didn't actually throw it away. I was kidding. Is it?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are all my pictures. And then look on the back. It says like, she made it so it like.
Cats of the World, photographs by Liz Mealy, copyright 2020. That's cute.
It was so nice. Because when you open something, you're like, hey, I think I took these. Like,
yeah. You're like, you're like, copyright infringement. Oh, that was a guess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. And so she gave me a bunch, like, let's say she gave me like 30 of them. So like, I pick and choose who gets my beautiful cards. Like, I love them. I just think it was so cool.
That is nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites. Anything else?
No, do you want to do the topic?
I would love to do the topic. What a great idea. Okay. Topic this week is, I wrote medical lasers, but in doing research, it's called laser therapy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. I wanted to focus on like beauty lasers, because there's lasers for everything. And
it's so funny. I did more like they do have cosmetic, and I wrote a bunch of stuff for the cosmetic lasers, but I'm really proud of us.
Well, I didn't actually get around to the beauty part because I got hung up on LASIK.
What do you mean hung up?
I just was like fascinated by what the process is for LASIK eye surgery. Like, it's insane.
I think it's funny because we are the laser generation. Just making that up. Don't care. Copyright us. Because if you think about it, I don't I like remember what, like, I think LASIK surgery was like the first time that I was like, lasers in your eye. Like it was like lasers is a thing in
What?
sci-fi, and then it's in your eyeball. And like, that's a weird first laser step. And then you started to see that they were used for laser hair removal, or at least in that cosmetic sense. And then like, so I personally have had laser hair removal, and I've had it used for like back pain treatment. Have you had any?
I've used it for laser hair removal. I've used it for micro needling and then like resurfacing, which
Okay.
it's the results aren't amazing. If they worked, like it was so subtle that, I mean, I don't know, it probably did work. I don't know. And then what else have I used lasers for? It's mostly for my face, like trying to get rid of
Okay.
scarring.
Yeah.
And the scars are still there. It didn't work, but
Do you
which is
feel like
crazy
it
because like lasers work for everything else.
do you feel like it lessened it at all, or do you feel like it
Well,
did
that's the part
nothing?
that's hard to tell because I mean, I'm looking at it like no, but then as my skin starts to sag, like they get deeper. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, okay, so the first thing we should do is define what laser is, because I didn't know this. Laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. That is what laser stands for.
Yeah, it's an acronym. And then LASIK is an acronym also. So there's an acronym within the acronym. So that actually LASIK stands for light amplification simulated emission of radiation assisted in situ keratomylosis.
Knew it. Everybody knew that. Fucking, I don't need you to break that down for me. Knew it. um, okay, so and then just a technical thing. Laser therapies are medical treatments that use focused light. Unlike most light sources, light from laser is tuned to specific wavelengths, and it allows it to be like focused and like powerful beams. So laser light is so intense it can like shape a diamond or cut steel. I don't know why we have that near our eyes, but it's fucking it's sharp. And then, oh, that's what I was gonna say. So my aunt had a brain tumor, and they shrunk it with a laser. So that actually kind of made me kind of like, and she said it was awesome. Like she said, it was barely any pain. She had to do 3 treatments where it focused where it was, never was cut open, almost like painless. Like I remember she was like excited. Like how many people that had like tumor removal was like, it was dope. Like
Yeah.
she was like excited about it. And I found myself just being fascinated that like with almost very little pain, 3 treatments, never got cut. And she's in her 80s. So, you know, surgery is, you really want to avoid it. So I think the fact that it's shrinking stuff. So laser therapy is used to shrink or destroy tumors, polyps, or precancerous growths. Crazy. Like that seems crazy. Relieve symptoms of cancer. Unsure how. Remove kidney stones.
Sorry, because I read the same list. That is exactly the thought process. I was relieve symptoms. I don't know how it did, but okay.
Because I can imagine when it's shrinking a tumor. So like from the way my aunt actually described it, is that it's like breaking apart. So like let's say you have this little tumor lump in your head, it's like lasering it and it's dispersing it and breaking it apart or shrinking it or evaporating it. I don't know. We don't know what we're talking about. But like when it says relieve symptoms of cancer, what? Like,
yeah, what symptoms and how? Like it's very vague.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Sometimes when I read the internet, I'm like, oh, this is how I would write this report, where you're just like
Yeah.
filling in words. like, are we at 500 word count yet? Like, remove kidney stones, which I think I've never had a kidney stone, but I know people have. It's like really painful to pass. Like they compare it to childbirth, which is crazy because a child is like 7 pounds.
Yeah, but it's going through that little hole where your urine comes out, not out of your vagina that gets stretchy.
I don't care.
Okay.
I think it's whatever. It's always dudes too. So remove kidney stones, remove part of your prostate, repair detached retinas, improve vision, which is LASIK, treat hair loss, this is crazy. There's laser hair removal, and then there's treat hair loss resulting from alopecia or aging. So it's like the fact that it can both grow hair and destroy hair follicles. You're just like, is that a toggle? Is that it? Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
On the laser gun, is it like, do you want more hair or less?
And then it's like kink, and then you have to like double check. It's almost like when you have like a power drill and you're like, it
I
just the
have a
screw.
mustache.
And then you're just like, honestly, I had a mustache before. I don't even know why I'm mad.
No, but this is like Burt Reynolds. Before it was just.
That's just impressive. Now you have a career, man. Fucking do, old Western movies. And then treat pain, including like back pain nerves. So I remember I had chronic back pain, and like I would go in once a week and they would like laser my back, which didn't hurt, kind of soothing, to be honest. I kind of liked it.
Mm-hmm. Did it work?
I don't know. No.
Didn't work, didn't hurt, didn't work. So just
I found because they would also do massage and then they would do the laser thing. It didn't hurt it, and I think there was always some relief day of, but then it would always come back. So
and that's the thing. I had a like laser thing on my face. Was it? Yeah, it must have been laser. It was like a radiation, and like day of, for the next couple of days, it was like plump. I got some plump. Well, it's like a plumpy, but then it just fell again. What it would do, it'd shrink the proteins, and then the proteins would just. It's like when you wash clothes and then dry them. And then the thread, like the clothes are a little bit tight when you take it out of the dryer.
Oh yeah, and then you just move your arm, and now it's like
yeah.
Or like I remember so specifically being excited about this American Eagle jean sale in college, like super excited about it. I was like, I'm gonna get some flare jeans. I'm gonna be so hot. So I buy these jeans. I look amazing, and within like 10 minutes of wearing them, they are like 90s baggy, like genuine. And it made me realize, I was like, oh, some jeans are better than others. But that's almost how I feel, where like you get them and you're like, I fucking look amazing, and then you walk 10 minutes and
yeah. All my jeans, like the butt of them are all like just it like that's like the most worn part. It's not the knees, but like the butt's just like
but that's how it was. Like I would say the entire thigh, butt, and like to the knee area was just like me. And it was like, no, I liked you. So no joke, I just decided to wear those jeans for like 10, like they were like 10-minute jeans. Like I would run an errand in those jeans because that was the
Why
shelf
didn't you
life.
just buy the next size down?
Because then they were too tight to put on.
Okay.
Also, I already bought them.
Oh, okay.
I'm 19 in this story.
This already. I'm not going back.
They were $20. I was like, you have to like, when you're like a kid and like something's $20, you're like, figured it out. I don't know why people are fucking stressed about money. And then you're like, oh, this fell apart immediately. And that's why it was $20. I'm really learning about quality here.
Yeah.
Okay. Lasers have a sealing effect. I don't understand how. I didn't get that far. But they can seal nerve endings to reduce pain after surgery, blood clot vessels to help prevent blood loss, and lymph vessels to reduce swelling and limit spread of tumor cells. I don't know what I read.
I lost interest, but I will say so I would, because I was thinking about how great it would be to actually get like a laser specialist who deals with lasers, doctors, I don't know, just do reaction videos to us. I was just thinking about somebody on TikTok, like what are these girls doing?
Isn't that every episode though? Yeah. Is just somebody being like, although I read a comment that your cholesterol explanation wasn't too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of want to show it to my mom and see if how correct it was.
Okay,
my mom. Maybe I'll be home. Maybe I'll see if I can get my mom to react to your cholesterol.
That would be great. Because
yeah.
But what I realized as I was saying that, I was like, I still don't understand what, like, I don't know. I don't understand. So like what happens? So it's like pressured into this little space. Is that what's blood pressure? Is that what high blood pressure is? And then how does a heart attack happen? Because like, is it like, where's my blood? And the blood's all like, we're stuck. Like, yeah, just ask her.
I mean, that to me, like if I was like, hey, my heart hurts, and you're like, well, this is what's happening, I'd be like, thank you so much for breaking it down for me.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine go to a doctor and they're like, and then they're wiggling?
I love that.
Or, okay, you know how like there's sign language interpreters? So like somebody's giving a speech and there's somebody doing sign language. What if like it's a doctor being like, so you have the cancer of the da-da-da, and they're like, okay, you know your brain.
I just like a layman's interpreter, not even, you don't even have to be deaf, but just me being like,
No,
here's
no, exactly. Like just
yeah.
because I even say that too when I'm learning a new skill, talk to me like a third grader. Because if you break it down in extra steps and let me understand it, so like it's such a small bite-sized piece, I can actually build it and retain it, as opposed to you put 10 I get overwhelmed. You can't give me 10 steps in one step. I just, especially if I don't know what you're talking about. So I think we talked about it months ago, but there was a problem with my boiler. I was explaining it to my dad. I woke up to like, you can fix it yourself. Here's a YouTube video. And I was like, and I do think I can fix stuff myself. I start watching the YouTube video. It is more than 2 steps. And it's about wires. Like you're going to be twisting, like stripping wires. And I was like, I'm going to blow up my apartment. I was like, no, but it was like, by the time I got to the 5th step, I was hysterically laughing that my dad thought I could do this myself. I left him a voicemail that was like, you're nuts. Thank you, I think, for having faith in me, or you're crazy.
Seriously. I once tweeted like how I was like, I watched a YouTube video on how to mount a TV onto a wall, and it looks like I'm never going to mount a TV onto a wall. It was so fucking difficult.
It also makes me think that I could like break my leg and be like, Dad, I'm on my way to the hospital. I broke my leg. And he's like, you could fix it yourself. Like my dad's like, I'm in the ambulance and my dad's like, jump out. I know it's going to make it hurt more, but I have some ideas.
I love it.
Let me think if there's any other cool lasery stuff. Oh, this was so crazy. It said it's useful in treating very early stages of some cancers. And then it listed a bunch of cancers I almost have never heard of, like the most specific. So cervical cancer, I do know of, but then it was penile cancer. Didn't know you could have penis cancer. Vaginal cancer. It just sounds like a kid made this up. Vulva cancer. What? Non-small cell lung cancer, so specific, don't know what that is, and basal cell skin cancer. I've never heard of, like, other than cervical cancer, I've never heard of these very specific tiny parts.
I didn't know you could get vulva cancer.
I did not know you could get vulva cancer at all. And penile cancer is just clearly something every boy has joked about. So it's real, guys. And then you put a laser near it.
Yeah.
How many dudes are like, I got penis cancer, and they're like, we could treat it with a laser. And you're like, you get that laser away from my dick.
Okay, we'll just use this scalpel. Like, bring that laser back.
And then, of course, we know cosmetically, which you were talking about, it can remove warts, moles, birthmarks, sunspots, remove hair, lessen the appearance of wrinkles, blemishes, and scars, and then also remove tattoos, which we talked a little bit in the tattoo episode we did.
Yeah. Can I run through like what I learned about LASIK?
Yeah. So I just want to say this real quick about tattoo removal. My friend got it, like she got it, and it's like super painful.
Is it?
Like it's, yeah. So it's kind of funny. Some of these lasers, like, because I didn't think laser hair removal was that painful. There's some spots, like I did bikini line, and you're a little bit like, I'm cursing at a lady. But tattoo removal, it doesn't really seem to matter where the tattoo is. It is painful. It must be, I think it's about the depth. You know what I mean? Like certain things, the depth of your.
It's funny because with lasers also, like sometimes you can't have a certain skin type. Like my skin is just on the edge of what they're willing to work with. Sometimes, like I wanted to get like fractal lasers for my scarring, but because I'm slightly too brown, they were like, it's not your best option because it could cause like pigmentation problems.
Really? Mm-hmm. And what's even interesting, when I got laser hair removal, the woman doing it was a Black woman. And I was like, so I was under the impression that blonde hair on very white skin isn't a good candidate for laser hair removal. Like it's too, like it can't find it. Like the best candidate is pretty much brown, dark hair and light skin, or like kind of this olivey skin. Like that's like I am probably one of the better candidates. But then she was pretty dark Black woman, and she's like, oh, I've gotten it done. So I think it's also changed. And then you have to, I guess, determine what your results are. But she said she had done it, and maybe
the technology is like with laser hair removal is different, by the way, than like,
because they have to just find the hair. Yeah. No, I understand. Anyway.
Yeah.
LASIK.
They pry your eyes open like Clockwork Orange. And they go in, and this is what I don't get with a laser. They like open up your cornea, and they kind of like all but like one little part of it, so it hinges up. Right. And like they put marks on your eyes to like mark where they're going with this laser. And then they suction your eye so that it doesn't move. So you get like a suction ring, and then they zap the whole thing. The zapping part takes like 10 minutes. And then they close it back up. No sewing. It just goes right back into your eye, the cornea.
So, okay. So what I understand about Lasix is it's really just for, so like I'm nearsighted. So it's for people that are nearsighted. So they have trouble seeing far away. It doesn't.
I read that it was for near, far, and one other one.
It might have got changed, but I've always been under the impression the best candidate for Lasix is somebody that is nearsighted. So you can't see far away. And often what happens is it does fade. They don't know because it's still young, but when it fades, you start to lose your nearsightedness. And that's one of the reasons I've always been.
So it's worse than it was before you started it.
No, it changes what is broken. Okay. I can't see far away.
Yeah.
If I get Lasix, the whole thing would actually make it so I don't need contacts or glasses. I can now see far away. But when it starts to fade, so let's say I got it tomorrow, 55, it starts to fade.
When what starts to fade? The LASIK work?
My eyesight, but where it starts to fade is my nearsightedness. So my farsightedness is still fine, but now my nearsightedness starts to go. And this is going to sound silly, but I don't want to have to put on glasses every time I need to read my phone or a menu or whatever. I love that I throw in contacts and I technically can see.
Oh, okay. I get it. So with contacts, it fixes both sightedness. And so, sorry, I just got an idea for like psychic contact lenses. And it's like, so it's a movie where a person gets contact lenses for the first time to treat their eyes. And then, but then suddenly they can see into the future. Anyway.
She's like, I just thought I needed green eyes, but it turns out I know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So that was just an idea I just had. And that's why I paused.
Yeah, no worries.
Anyway, but the contacts fix everything.
Yeah, but also, don't get me wrong. As soon as I'm rich, I'm probably getting LASIK, and I know a bunch of people have gotten it. But also I think I have old data, which is, they always said it only lasted 10 years. And I don't think that's true anymore. I think it does last longer.
Okay.
Has anybody gotten Lasix? Can you educate us?
Yeah. And I think it also it clears the fog away from your eyes so that you can see clearly. Like it's like Windex.
Also, you know how if you don't have 20/20 vision, you can't become like a pilot. Why wouldn't you just get Lasix?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
it's scary.
expensive.
Like
oh, it's super scary
having lasers on your eyeballs. So I could see not getting it.
Yeah. Also, I don't think I would use a Groupon for Lasix.
I would never ever do that. That's something you pay full price for.
Yeah, I would. That's why it's when I'm rich.
I remember my roommate got LASIK, and I had to pick her up from surgery, and then she was like all kind of loopy, and she was like, oh, like she had this like teddy bear, and she was like, I'll give you back Seymour, and I was like, ha, and she was like, what? And I was like, Seymour, and she was like, oh god damn it. do you get it? See?
Yeah, I do see more. Yeah. She's like, oh my god, I predicted my own eye stuff. Do I have any other information? No, I don't think so. I think I ran out of information.
I can see clearly now. The podcast's done.
Okay. Anybody that's had any kind of laser therapy, I would love to hear about it. I kind of love hearing people's experiences. Did it hurt? Did it fix it? Was it pricey? Because like I said, I think we've only done like cosmetic. So I just have like my aunt's experience with tumor shrinking. I don't know. Lasers are fun.
Yeah. Let us know. Let us know if you've had any bad experiences.
Oh yeah, that too. Where can they write to us, Maria? At
2nondoctors@gmail.com. It's the number 2, fullworddoctors@gmail.com. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.